welcome everybody to the DQ&Q Lifestyle Podcast with me. Thank you for joining me. Like, comment, share, subscribe from the top, me I say. Hey. So we're in the final section of this therapy report, and the final domain is called emotional management. And within this domain, there are three categories, which are difficulties controlling emotions, ruminating / grievant thinking, and erratic and volatile behavior. I had all of those. So we'll start off with the difficulties controlling emotions, and there's 4 bullet points where it says, it is evident from Marcus's index offense that he struggles to manage his emotions effectively. Marcus has previously been depressed and undertook hypnotherapy for this, which he shared was really helpful. So they've got that from a Oasis, because what I only can guess that I said to my probation officer time ago. So what it was, when I was in prison, the last time, not this, I've only been in twice, not this time, the time before, I must have had my BlackBerry in there. And obviously not supposed to, but I have a BlackBerry. And I used to listen to like affirmations. I used to be into that stuff. Like I'm not, like, you know what I mean? And it would just like, I just used to put it on the headphones and whatnot, or earphones, and just listen to like, it used to be saying like stuff like, I am this, that, I am da. And you know, you can say it's beneficial or helpful or whatever, but man, still come out and I raise up the crime rate, you know. And still come out, yeah, it's helpful, but yeah, man, still raise up the crime rate, still can't cope, still winning again, it's all mental. So but she called it, so I've said that, she's called it hypnotherapy, and I assumed that's what she meant, because when I've got back into, remember she hadn't said this to me, it's only like nearly 2 years later when I'm back in prison, I'm reading it, I'm thinking, hypnotherapy, like, I've never took no hypnotherapy. And that's for depressed, it's just how I'm describing my life, they're saying this guy's depressed. When I look back, I was depressed, I was depressed, like, you know what I mean? Life's just, it was just shit, you know what I mean? I was trapping up the place, but there's no love, there's no loyalty, there's no this, there's no that. It's like everywhere you turn, it's like people are against you kind of half thing. Like you got to keep your eye on everyone, even your brethrens. Like, you know, the ones there, like it's just dead. But anyway, according to his Oasis report on the 24th of the 1st, 2016, anger management is an issue for him. Marcus has self-reported that he doesn't deal well with boredom. This was something which he shared in his Oasis interview 24th of the 1st, 2016, and also in a small group recently on the TC on the 8th of the 12th, 2016. Which is true. Boredom was like a mad thing. But that same guy, the money kid, he must have said like bored. He must have been like in the group like boredom. Who gets bored like when bored like? Because he's like basically there's things to do. He's putting. I'm thinking what you're on about. Like boredom's like a thing, and I get bored quick. You know, the ones there. Like if it's not engaging my mind in some way, shape, or form, I don't want naught to do with it. Like, but he's like bored. Like, just like talking in his breath, like bored. Remember, I'm sat in a group, we're close together, not even far. It's literally there. Like with the chairs are so close, like your knees are almost touching next man's knees. Like that's how close. And I'm like 2-3 people away, touching other knees. Pause. But yeah. So yeah, and I just like, it did get me thinking like, you're right. So anyway, basically from that moment forward, not immediately, because I'm thinking to myself like, first I'm thinking like, obviously I'm sticking to what I'm thinking is true, like my beliefs, like, yeah, you do get bored. Of course there's boredom, like, it's normal to be bored. Do you know what I mean? But like, when I did talk to him, he used to busy himself, not overly, like super busy. Like he'd be like, he'd be like, what were you doing in your cell? I'd be like, what you doing in your cell? He'd be like, put a bit of music on, did this. He was quite well groomed. Like, shave my chest. You know what I mean? He's lined his beard up and this. And I'm not really that kind. I just can see man's just rugged, you know. And yeah, like, and I think like, what you doing? I'd kind of get the same, but I was probably like a bit more like a horse, whinnying around. Like, I do 2 donkey kick on that, even on your ass. Hey, us. And if you get it, if you've seen the old pod, you know what us is. But yeah, so I just thought, yeah, he's right. Like, so I got more in education. I started to like, I took the therapy a little bit more. Obviously, I wasn't bored no more as well, because as I was getting more into the therapy, I'd just lay back or sit back and just think about things. I'd reflect to death. was to write down my findings because like, as I'm writing them down, it's easier for me to. I don't have to remember it. Then it's just written down and it's out of my head. It's like I've lost a bit of mental weight. Do you know what I mean? Because that what I've come across, I've written down, so I can always refer back to what I've written. Doing my education, planning my education. I've got bare planners up. Like I'm planning on that. I'm planning on that. I'm scrapping that. I'm refining the planner. Like books. Like I said, it was mainly like counselling books and stuff, counselling theory books. And so the sort obviously, and also watching like box sets. So it's like there wasn't like no free time, but I was. Whereas now I kind of just waste my time just watching Netflix and YouTube, which I'm getting a grip on and starting to do other things as well. But before it's like there was also that like bit. But like I said, there was the education, there was the self-education, like the reflection and stuff for like obviously for the therapy, which was loads. I did loads of that, probably way too much, especially at the beginning. You know, I play on the computer, which I don't play games no more. I bought some games like when I was with one of my flipping service users, like a thing to do. And he keeps asking me if you played them. I haven't played them because I just don't play the computer. Do you know what I mean? Closest I've come to is my nephew put it on. And I sat there and I spoke to him a bit while he played it, you get me? And obviously there was socialising as well there, which I don't do too much socialising. So yeah. And that boredom feeling, like being bored, like being frustrated and angry and annoyed, like why me? Like why can't I? Like looking out the window thinking, oh, fucking pits more, do you know what I mean? Like, and then like taking it out on something or someone and being short with people, going out and getting high, do you know what I mean? Like being stressed, smoking cigarettes, you know what I mean? Going and getting drunk to change up the mood, the flow of things, like, even though sometimes, I used to like, I'd be sat there thinking, oh, you just know you're not going to sleep, you know what I mean? So I sat down there, like watching telly, and it's like, oh, do you know what? Obviously the 24-hour shop's down the road, so it's like walk down the road. I think I'll just grab like a one liquor bottle or something, like probably like a canai or something or whatever. And, or grab two, probably got no bud, you know what I mean? Cigarettes and canai, and it's like, just feeling like it's keeping me up. I'm trying to put myself down here, I'm keeping me up. Like, it's like, what? Like, and then like drinking it and then thinking like, what? Like this in the feeling that I wanted, do you know what I mean? So yeah, so like not being able to be bored, not coping well with being bored. You know what I mean? It's a big thing, man. Just trust me, check out like yourselves, check out the youths, especially now, like especially like with the phones and shit. 8-second fucking at focus, whatever it's called, like do you know what I mean? Like just can't focus on anything for any length of time, do you know what I mean? So yeah, this is a very short section, by the way. It's going to go on to ruminating/grievant thinking. It's got one bullet point and it just says Marcus's index offence and his previous convictions suggest this is an area which needs exploration and work during his time on the TC. Now, I didn't really mention my grievant thinking. I was grievant thinking to death. I was in my cell, I told you, man just wanted to go and the man upstairs and just, just done him up like differently. Like I just have to just fly up there sometimes and just shut that door and just tell him, like, not even shut that door, not even like that. I wouldn't tell him I'm lying. Because then that's giving him ammo to say stuff. But obviously, I'd be like making my way up there and there's people about on the landings and that. And I'm like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, haha, yeah, cool, yeah, this and that. It's like chilling, like thinking I was looking at his door, like his door's open, like thinking, yeah, like I'm trying to like get past these guys so these guys can't say, oh, I see Marcus, he's steamed up the stairs and he's steamed over there. I'm trying to like make it out like, yeah, I'm just patrolling, just having a walk about and that's how everything is and that. Like I've come to see them specifically. I ain't come to see you, bruv. I've got a mission. I'm going somewhere. Anyway, get to his thingy, boom, whip in there, shut that door. Obviously, it's pressure when someone comes in your yard and shuts your door that you've got a bit of a problem with. It's like a peak situation. Them one's there. So I just have to make him feel them feelings, make him think, boom. I remember like one time, like I don't know where it was. He like I rolled in there when just sit down, and he sat down on he sat down on command. So I know now that he knows it's not thingy because like sometimes man might steam in my cell. They're steaming in my cell on smoke. And they're like, sit down. I ain't sitting. Like, I'm not even paying attention. Like, I'm half thinking, is this guy thingy? Because the way he's rocked in. You know what I mean? Like, no man coming like, oh, boom. Man was rocked in a bit on like and like shut the door. Like I'm going to get shocked that you shut the door. Like, what does Rorschach you know what I'm going to say. What does Rorschach say? I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me. So you're shutting that door, like... sealing your own fate, you muppet. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, they try to tell me like, oh, yo, I want to talk to you. Like, I'm like, you talk then. I mean, sit down. No, I'm not doing the opposite of what they're saying, but I'm like whatever. Or they might see me just like lay back on my bed, just looking at them. They might have come too deep. Two of them have come, like, and I'm just not. They're thinking this guy's not like they're not just come to intimidate. Do you know what I mean? And obviously, when you intimidate, if the person's scared, then you'll progress more. Do you know what I mean? But because man's not bothered about you, they just end up bouncing like this, kind of like looking at each other like, well, this ain't working out. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, my man's rocked, and as he's like sat, because he's sat down now, he's not next to anything. He's just like reached for the closest thing, and it was a spoon. I don't know if I mentioned this before. Still, it might have been a fork actually, because they end up like him and his mate had like a little fight with forks, and that it must have like scratched up and jumped up next to that. They got kicked off. These two best friends that just causing bare havoc on the wing. Do you know what I mean? End up attacking each other. Anyway, so I never spoke about my grievant thinking. I spoke about it to you guys on like the early pods, like what I wanted to do and how I was doing with it and how I dealt with it. So let's go back to the early pods for that one. And then the erratic and volatile behaviour. It's just got one bullet point again. It says there is clear evidence for this in Marcus's index offence and his previous offending. Oh, so if I just talk about it myself in person, like for as of now for this, it's true. What they're saying is true. Bear in mind when I told you the first time that I read all of this, I can't see what they're on about. I'm like, what? Like these are all natural. They're breaking. They keep going back to the same. So like each of these, so like difficulty controlling emotions goes through like the whole index. I think like how I dealt with it. Then go back to the top, ruminating and grievant thinking. Then go back to the top again with erratic and volatile behaviour. Do you know what I mean? Like they keep going through my offence. Like this shows this shows. It's like, how many times are you going to keep running through the one event? Like me with like 16 different like areas in 4 different domains. Like what are you on about? Like how can that be? I couldn't see it, couldn't get it. But I can get it now. Like the ruminating and that. For one, I was ruminating about this thing that happened before that I mentioned in the earliest pod of like these first few. When I run through the index offence, like what happened before with them man, they're trying to rob me or whatever, or trying to scare me off or trying to shoot me or whatever they were trying to do. I holding feelings, basically, yeah. And so the ruminating and the grievant thinkings means like thinking to hurt. Do you know what I mean? Like, thinking I'm going to hurt this guy. That's grievant thinking. You've got a grievance with this person. Do you know what I mean? You know what grievous bodily harm is? That's what we went to jail for. GBH, grievous bodily harm. The section 18 of it. And the erratic and volatile behaviour. Obviously, I'm acting erratic. I'm fighting, and that's erratic and volatile behaviour. Like volatile. Let me come back. Yo, Camera just said some mad stuff about some stuff. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's where I went. I mean, I'm back. So yeah, basically, I was just about to say, when you shake up my mother shook up all the time. When you shake a Philippine Coca-Cola bottle, obviously it's all bubbled up, and if you pop the top, everywhere, you've made the bottle of Coke volatile, then ready to pop, ready to burst, and that's all it is. So when people are kicking off and they're thinking they're bad, and you think, oh, he's mad, it's like, nah, man's just can't control his, it's not even controlling it, it's managing it. Do you know what I mean? Like you're feeling that, like, so people still shake me up, I still get shook up, and I'm ready to pop, but I still talk. I might talk more sternly, and people struggle to cope with that. But I'm still able to have a conversation. I'm still able to listen. I might have got like a slightly shortened, like patience might be slightly shortened, but it's not. It's not fucking. Do you know what I mean? It's not just like a whip for hair, I'm ready to go. Do you know what I mean? It's just that like I'm trying to get to a resolve here. Do you know what I mean? But it's very difficult because people can't do it. So I'm dealing with a lot of people that can't do it, and they're all in their feelings, and they're just, like I'm feeling the same as them, to like just go, well, I can't this and that, but what the fuck you then? Do you know what I mean? Well, what's the point in that then? Well, I'm not doing it then. So what do you think then? And then they go into like so just say you're trying to like come out with options that might work and that, and they come with options, you're like, no, that's not going to work. Then they just want to say, no, that's not going to work back to you. Like it just gets to a daft situation. Do you know what I mean? Like, so it becomes difficult. Do you know what I mean? Cause it's almost like, because of the dance, because you're not doing their dance and they can't do your dance, they'll come to no resolve. Do you know what I mean? So it can look like it's me. But it's like, no, if you could get up on my level, or if we could get onto the same level, should I say? I'm not saying my level's higher, but if we can just side by, instead of being like missing, just link up, then it can. Oh, trust me, it's mental. It's mental. Everyone's mental. I'm perfect. You know, see, I'm humble already, innit? You know what I mean? Go to the Instagram, look at the narcissist personality disorder, because you're using it wrong. And so here we're going to look at the time in therapy, what they think of this. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bullet points. And it says, Mr. Brown learned to be able to identify, acknowledge, and to tolerate his more difficult feelings during his time in therapy, which I've just explained. His ability to self-reflect and think about what he's feeling before just acting on it has improved relative to how he was prior to coming to prison. Because like I say, I'm able to have the forethought rather than always having hindsight. Man's got foresight to be able to think, right, this is going to go this way if man behave this way. But obviously sometimes, when I say sometimes, I haven't really used it, but I am understanding that sometimes I will have to dip into whatever to deal with certain people. Do you know what I mean? But I'm not really around these people to have to deal with it like that. But, you know, man doesn't know how to deal with people. Mr. Brown explored his childhood in a small group, which brought up some difficult and painful feelings for him. He has been able to think about them and explore them at depth in his small group and with staff and residents outside of the group space also. Because what they want you to do is not just to be able to use the group space, which is the main space, it's and also thoughts and feelings. Because obviously people don't have like real thoughts and they do have thoughts and feelings, obviously, but they don't have to communicate their feelings in thoughts and feelings. So you can see as time goes by, they think like before it's like, oh, I'm alright, oh, I'm pissed off, me. Then eventually they're like, oh, do you know what, I was annoyed. Oh, do you know what, I was feeling vulnerable. Like they start to, in thoughts and feelings, they start to like become more on them, not looking out, getting onto other people and just saying general stuff like pissed off or bex or fucked off. They start using proper emotion words and labeling feelings and come more on themselves of how they felt like that and how they dealt with it, like in a good way, rather than just kicking off and blah, just being, like I say, volatile and erratic. I apologize for the coughing. Also, they want you to go outside of the groups to be able to build your own support networks. So it's being able to do that out here. So to come out, like, because now I'm out, I can't access thoughts and feelings when I was in the prison that I went to after before I came out. I couldn't access thoughts and feelings and support groups while, or groups, should I say, when I'm out now. Do you know what I mean? It's for me to find my own support, to go to like a support group, like an Andy's Mind Club or a local men's talking group or even a mixed talking group, or to, you know, ring Samaritans or to ring Text Quell or, you know, cultivate new friends, find which family that I can go to. Because obviously we have to, you know, I do advocate for speaking about your feelings and how your thoughts and, like I said, trying to keep it on yourself rather than they did this and they did that and because that's not going to do anything for you. Do you know what I mean? They need to deal with them, but you need to deal with you, and dealing with you makes it easier and you can grow from that. You can't grow from just pointing out other people's stuff and why they've done this, that and the other. Do you know what I mean? You can mention it because it's relevant. Do you know what I mean? Because people need to know why you feel like this, but they need to get onto yourself. That's just a little 5% of like what you should be talking about. It should be on you and what you did and how you did it and what you can do different. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, so how we can know that people can use this information about you against you, sorry. So we know that people are just like, just little pricks, aren't they, really, and the spiteful bastards and got nothing going on for them. Do you know what I mean? And they're just manipulators and, you know, they're narcissists, you know what I mean? And things like this. So they will get you to feel vulnerable, get all the information out of you, and then use it to control you later on. It's all coercive. Do you know what I mean? And these aren't good people. This happens like in partnerships. So man, woman, woman, man, man, woman, woman. Do you know what I mean? It's in friendships, two girl. Do you know what I mean? Like, so partners will be using it in relationships, and friendships will be using it. Do you know what I mean? Family will be using it. Like, that's no good. That's all toxicity. They're all toxic bastards. Do you know what I mean? To get away from them, blow them up on Facebook so I can see. And you know, seriously, you need to get away from them. So that's what it is. It's about going outside of the group, because obviously not everyone in the community can be trusted. But the funny thing is, I'm doing what I would have done on the TC anyway. I'm unveiling myself. I'm revealing myself. Do you know what I mean? I'm talking about my deepest and darkest here. I'm laying myself out, because obviously I didn't do that before. Anyone will tell you, no one knew me. I must have been sat in the TC one time in thoughts and feelings, And it just hit me one time that someone's talking about bare things, and I thought, I just looked around at all these man, like 40 man, yeah, and I thought, Ras, nobody on the face of this earth knows me like these guys. And I don't think anyone knows these guys like I know them because of how open and honest we are. I thought my mom, dad, brothers, my brethrens, like gyal, they don't know me. They don't know who I truly am. I didn't even know who I truly was. I hid it for myself. Some people like are quite honest with themselves to a degree, but they might not be open and honest to others. But they're quite. I couldn't face my own like what are the classed as failures and my just failures really. What didn't make me a good person, or what when I felt like when I just felt vulnerable, things that just made me feel like vulnerable, fearful. I won't face them. I wouldn't look at it and think, do you know what, I could do this, I can do that, like to like circumvent that, or I can do this, like build myself up. I wouldn't do it. Do you know what I mean? If it brought up any anxiety, I just miss the thought. I just kick it out like boom and forget all that. Yo, put that down. Yo, trust me. Yo, like I just get away from it. Couldn't deal with it. Do you know what I mean? And obviously doing that just kept me emotionally immature. So that's what a lot of it is like. So a lot of people that you meet, like especially like at my big age now, still a lot of people that are very emotionally immature, because where it is when you're keeping yourself drugged up, where it's just ganja, you're not allowing yourself to feel. So if you're not allowing yourself to feel, you're not allowing yourself to be able to process those feelings. Because once you process it, you think about it properly, or you got the right people around you to help you see it from a different perspective, it washes it away. Do you know what I mean? Imagine like a bus just turning up at a bus stop, and another bus just turning up at a bus stop, and another one for years. For years, you got all them old buses, they're all going rust. They got fucking plants and shit growing from a rusted down, broke down, tires flat. They're basically stuck to the earth now because they've just been there for so long. And more buses are turning up. And that's just like your negative feelings and negative emotions. Like it's just, and you haven't processed it to help them move along, to clear it out, move it along. And processing, and like I say, so like being high, will just, not even as high, like even like medication as well. Medication can keep you stupefied because you're not able to process what's going on, because you can't feel. Do you know what I mean? Like you're not feeling what's going on for you to be able to like think about it properly, talk about it properly, because speaking about it, being able to articulate what's going on inside is massive. Massive. The more articulate you can be on how you think and feel will help you benefit massively. And it obviously shows maturity, emotional maturity, because that's how mature you are. You're able to speak about these things quite eloquently and elegantly. So yeah, and that's it. Like you just be able to clear it out and stuff, and yeah. So we'll just move on from that. Mr. Brown identified feelings of jealousy during his time in therapy, a difficult and challenging emotion to accept and think about. At times, he became reactive to the jealousy evident in his anger towards the clinical lead staff, who he felt was favouring some residents over others. At these times, Mr. Brown appeared unable to see the reality of the situations and appeared to be responding to a perception which, when explored, was rooted in his past. Upon reflection, Mr. Brown was able to identify this and the jealousy and rage past, enabling Mr. Brown to feel sadness from his childhood and to see the situation in the present for what it was. So, don't get me wrong, I don't care what they say, there was some favoritism, because that's just how it goes sometimes. And more it is, what their motto is, which proves this, and it's a similar thing to how most services are, like even the service I work for. But I still believe in, the way I see it is, if you've got 6 people and you've got 6 sweets, and you've only can give 1 sweet to each, if I give 1 more sweet to 1 more person, someone's not getting a sweet. Do you know what I mean? That's how I see it, yeah? From this situation. So I try to be as fair as possible. I try to not give more to 1 person. Do you know what I mean? Because what they're saying is, you will get what you need from the TC. So they could see that me and certain other residents relied on each other, but also heavily relied on ourselves to be able to move forward, where some just couldn't do it alone. But the maddest thing is, only one of these people was signed off, but there was like a bit of a funny thing going on there, but we'll leave that. All these people that were getting all this extra support and proper like mollycoddled and all these ones there, yeah, failed. They got kicked off in the end, because where it is, they're giving more support, but this person's receiving it as like, because obviously the jealousy and the rage is coming out from a lot of residents. Like, I'm not raging out, but they're seeing this the way I spoke about it. I wasn't like reactive and because people like storming around and like arguing with the staff and sticking it on. It was funny seeing, because where is it proper like doing the TC and doing like therapy like that, yeah, it proper reduces you to like almost like a child, and it's like it grows you up. Do you know what I mean? Like you go back down there and then you bump because you're back in all these feelings from when you was like there and that, and your perceptions, and then you start to like grow up. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, but I was one of those people, because when people are talking about it and it's come around, I would voice it, and you'd be, you can tell when someone's like bitter about something or happy about something, you know what I mean? And it was evident that I was upset about this. Like they're saying rage. Look what they're using. They're using the term rage. You know what I mean? But I think they're also, to be honest, covering their back there. Do you know what I mean? To make it look as, oh no, not us. But like I say, so the person that's receiving more help is seeing it as like they are the favorite, that they're special. Do you know what I mean? So they're not receiving it as I need more help because I'm struggling. They're seeing it as I'm getting more help because I'm better. Do you know what I mean? So although they're not saying it, it's like evident, because in the end they become like too big for the boots. They're not doing the work. They're not doing the work at all. Do you know what I mean? And they're trying to help them do the work even more, but they're not doing the work even more, because all they're getting is like, because they just go more, because, and that's the reason. I'll tell you the reason. Because it's been pointed out by staff to like, because obviously staff point things out because they're dotted around us in thoughts and feelings and in like agendas and meetings and stuff, and they're piping up as we pipe up, because they'll be reactive. Like someone might have a sad story, so they like might be like, oh, well done Malcolm on you getting that like your degree or whatever. Well done Steve on finally pushing forward and doing that bit of work. And yeah, do you know what you said there, Darren, was like very, very sad. Do you know what I mean? Like I can't believe what's going on. But the general feeling that I'm getting from the room is there's a lot of animosity towards Ben. Do you know what I mean? And then obviously they'd echo it, because one, it might be something that they're talking about in the office. So don't think it's all like glory, all sunshine and rainbows on the TC. There's bare politics going on that you've got to like navigate, because you're getting like, we're not just sat there like stupefied, like, yes. Do you know what I mean? Like there's rage going on, it's affecting other people, and and it's just going off mad. And there's like drugs and fights going off like somewhere secretly. It's coming to the room and this and that. And then there's like staff issues. Like, so there's a lot of stuff. It's just like the real world. Like I say, that's what I call it. It's like a microcosm of the world. So there's a lot of stuff going on that you've got to navigate. You know what I mean? And people get stuck with it. So it's not like they're just coming in this like clinical dead place and just working on their bits. New things are popping up, but the staff are taking no responsibility for anything that they're doing. So you can't get them to correct themselves. They won't do it. They're like, basically like, we're all right. You've got to deal with yours. So you know what I mean? It's like, it's hard to like get past like that a little bit. But even though there's all that, I speak highly of it because of the process, because I'm able to separate what's like different things. I've spoken about separation before as well in the previous pods, so go check it out. So basically separate like myself, my feelings from like different situations, and separate like, because obviously I'm part of a group kind of thing, then separating myself from that, like, all right, then that's what I felt when I'm in the group, but I don't actually feel like that. I'm like picking up what they're giving off kind of thing, or I'm separating myself from like so basically like, because what it was basically how I perceive favoritism in my family growing up. It stuck with me. That's where the jealousy comes from, because we're all jealous because we've got brothers and stuff or whatever, family members, yeah. Then I'm seeing like a woman giving extra care to one of the guys that's naughty, and that was like in my family. So my mum's giving my naughty brother bare like attention. He seemed like the favourite to me and my other brother. But it's funny because when you speak to that brother, the naughty one, allegedly, he would say probably I'm the favourite or something. Do you know what I mean? So it's funny how like perspectives, do you know what I mean, how you're perceiving what's going on, because he didn't feel like the favourite. Do you know what I mean? But then the same individual and the same staff member is triggering other people for different reasons. Do you know what I mean? It might be like, she might represent their mum and the guy represents this boyfriend of the mum's. Do you know what I mean? This might be their sister with their whatever, because their sister might have been way older and almost like a mother figure. Do you know what I mean? She was the one that was like looking after them, because the mother was just, do you know what I mean? So it was like bare, like what they call transference and stuff, a lot of like mixed feelings going on. That's what happens all the time. So a lot of the time when we're triggered by certain things and certain people, it's not even that person and it's not even that scenario. It's a scenario that we've lived and experienced in our past that looks like in our subconscious, like unconsciously, we're not even like thinking about it. And then we're just putting that blueprint over this and saying match. Do you know what I mean? We're saying it fits like that when really it goes so. It doesn't match. Do you know what I mean? So then it's working through that. So a lot of times when we're popping off, it's not even for like here and now stuff. It's from past stuff. But you couldn't say nothing then. Or you used to say something then, and it's like it's still happening now. So you're like, oh, it always happens to me. And that's like an indication that it's not a here and now thing. Yeah, it's something that's happened again that's similar to that, and it's happening now. But it shows that you haven't got over that. Do you know what I mean? So there's markers and things that tell us that we've got unresolved stuff and unprocessed stuff. It gets heavy. But I just see the Don, there's a roll past that, done. The dirt with that, Shannon. What else? Yeah, so we get situations messed up. Do you know what I mean? We're not seeing the reality. We're not seeing things for what they are. Do you know what I mean? We're seeing things for what we interpret them to be. And that just happens all the time. You do it, don't think you're not doing it. You're doing it. There are times when Mr. Brown struggles to think about what he's feeling and enacting prior to responding to the feeling. Continued work to think about what is playing out for him and to being really aware of signposts such as feeling anger or rage towards someone or focusing externally and seeing the answer as being based there rather than internally will support Mr. Brown to develop further in himself and support him in relationships and ultimately his behaviour in the future. Now that is true. There's been elements of this. But I still feel she's not wrong. But I do also feel, like I say, that it's them protecting themselves. Do you know what I mean? So it's like it's them saying it, it's not me. But like, it's mad, even that kid got kicked off. She's still gonna, it was mad. It was mental. Like, above and beyond was way beyond the whatever. But we know what prisons are like. They're dodgy, aren't they? You know what I mean? Dodgy stuff happens in there. But anyway, but it is right. So we'll just stick, we'll park that, what they're saying. This pops up. Do you know what I mean? And this is something that I'm doing because I've lost myself a bit. Remember I kept saying I've lost myself? This is like basically the thing, and that's why I'm enjoying reading this through with you guys. Do you know what I mean? But like, comment, share, subscribe. Come here, lay my life out for you now. Mr. Brown had a tendency to think about things in an overly grievant manner. Prior to coming to therapy, he filtered his experiences through an overly negative mindset. And his thoughts about others were often defensive and overly negative. His threat system was high. I mentioned this before about being like sensitive, super sensitive, but it worded it a bit differently. Or hypersensitive. And the first thing, hypersensitive, man's a bad man, man, broke up, man. But it's because the threat system's high, because you're worried about something happening all the time, so you're ready to jump and pounce and get onto people like, yo, what do you mean you did it? When you're getting defensive quick like that, that means your threat system's high, because you're getting defensive quick. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, just say anytime a bird or something flies near the country, the defense systems of the UK are up, boom, boom, boom. Do you know what I mean? But I think they'll let a few birds fly over. Do you know what I mean? So if your defenses are coming out quick, do you know what I mean? If you're becoming an arsehole quick, you're super sensitive, hypersensitive. And your threat system's high. You're perceiving a threat to be coming all the time. You know what I mean? Like, I know that it's funny because I've seen that like lately. And these people get praised for it. Like, oh, you know what? You're so da-da-da-da. It's like, yeah, I don't take no shit, me. And I think, but that's not the reason. Like, you're traumatized. It's a trauma response. You are not special because you behave like that. That shitty behaviour is no good, mate. So fucking knock it off. You know what I mean? But that's not to say I don't get defensive. I just get defensive in a different way. Do you know what I mean? Because like I say, I've lost myself and I'm trying to bring myself back. You know what I mean? Where are we? His threat system was high and his ability to trust others was low. Didn't even trust myself, it turned out. Didn't even know. Man said, yo, do you trust yourself? I said, yeah, of course I do. No, I didn't. I didn't even trust my decisions. I didn't trust my decisions so much I didn't even make decisions. I just kind of half go with the flow. Because if it went wrong, I wouldn't want to take, like, think, it went wrong because of me. Not anything special, but like, just say I've decided to go to that restaurant and that food shit. I won't want to think, I made a bad decision by going to that restaurant. Just something daft like that. I'd rather leave it up to someone else. Do you know what I mean? Couldn't take no responsibility, no accountability for anything. Crazy. Because the self-trust was low and self-worth was so low. So that's like another chip. Like, just imagine like taking something that there's not much of. Do you know what I mean? So I've not got much self-worth. And then me making a bad decision and it being shit and then me perceiving it as a failure is taking more self-worth away. It's just fucking not there. having to claw back like stupid self-worth, like fighting and that, thinking, trying to like raise my self-esteem and that, trying to gain his reputation. It's all mental. However, over time, this shifted such that Mr. Brown was able to see people as both good and bad, and to being able to consider what aspect of his own personal emotional history was feeding into his thoughts and experience of here and now situations. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. We have completed therapy. Or should I say, you have completed therapy. How do you feel? Do you feel better? Do you feel like you can hit the like, comment, share, and subscribe, Mikey? Yeah. But yeah, I got a bit sensitive and a bit defensive there myself, in terms of that what she was saying. So it's like I was just used to reading praise, and I don't know, there was like not really like praise, but what they're saying is still true. Do you know what I mean? So I didn't fully drown in the defensive. I was kind of able to keep my head above water a little bit. But yeah, to get defensive, feeling attacked. That's why when you feel hurt, because I felt hurt there, feeling attacked. So I got defensive, and then it's justifying my my response or why they're saying it. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, that's it, man. I really, really enjoyed it. So now I'm thinking about busting open my flipping 7 pathways, yeah, and my relapse prevention plan. Just so I can see where I was at, my mind, where it was at that time. Do you know what I mean? When I read these things. But yeah, man. It's been good. But the pod will be changing again soon. You know, I just like to change things up. You know what I mean? I get bored, don't I? Don't tell the money guy. Bored. What do you mean bored? If you're bored, hit the like, comment, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it. Having a big 2024, you know. Hopefully big and it shine through, you know. Hey, 11 more months of you to be able to do what you want to do. Hopefully you've moved on to a bigger and better platform to what you want to do, what you want to be. Anyway, big up yourselves. Marcus, DKNQ Lifestyle Podcast.